We hear a lot of perspectives on the Mankind podcast. Inclusion of a guest is not an endorsement of their views, and the opinions expressed here do not always represent the mission or values of the Mankind Project USA.
Hey everybody, it's Boysen Hodgson and
G'day, and welcome to the Mankind Podcast, the show where we
break some molds of modern manhood to prove that
there is indeed more than one way to be a man. Who is the captain today, Boysen? Who's driving this ship?
I thought you were going to let me lead because you said I was going to drive the questions. Brandon and I are going to sit down and talk today about, ski trips. I think that's what it is, right? We're talking about going skiing.
Yeah, ski trips disguised as near-death experiences.
Ah, yes. And in talking about that conversation, we're going to ask some very powerful questions like, what the hell is getting in your way of doing the next simple thing that you need to do in your world? So, Brandon, I'm glad we're here. Happy New Year. I'm glad we're together. And our first conversation of this new year was a very interesting one. So you want to tell the story?
Yes, but I first want to say we are less than a month away from our 5th birthday as a podcast.
Wow.
Which is pretty wild. Our podcast is older than my kid.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know. It's wild. So just putting that out there, I'm sure we'll figure something out special to do for our 5-year. But yes, my wife and I had an opportunity to take our neighbour's plane. Our neighbours, husband and wife, both phenomenal pilots. Phenomenal. Yes. They're the only people that I know of that I would get in a small plane with. 5-seater, called a Piper Apache, 2 engines, and we've flown with them before. And they said, hey, do you guys want to go skiing up in West Virginia at a place called Winter Place? And I said, fantastic. Since I moved away from Utah, I have not skied once. I love skiing. I've got custom fitted boots. I have the whole shebang. Like, yes, please, let's go skiing. And it gives my wife and I a chance to step away from the chaos of Thanksgiving to Christmas and, just a break for the two of us.
Yeah.
So we say yes. And we fly to West Virginia. We fly above the clouds. And the cool thing about small planes is it's not just descend wherever you want. You got to find a pocket, an opening that you can come down. But once you're between the clouds and the mountains and the clouds, you get beat around a bunch. And anywho, we're making our way to the airport. And I just as we line up the runway, I, despite my greatest efforts, joined what is called the Chuck It Club. And
the Chuck It Club? No kidding.
The Chuck It Club. And you probably, all of you listening, can probably pick up what the Chuck It Club is. I emptied the contents of my stomach into a bag.
Coming in on landing. Interesting.
I know, I made it so close. But we land, no issues. We have a great day of skiing. My wife and I start planning our year because we do that every year. We do our annual. So we start looking back on the year that we've just had. And 2025 truly has been one of the most magical years of our lives together. Definitely. Probably one of the best of my life ever.
Thank you. Yeah.
So really, really magical to reflect on that. And we leave the plane outside. There's no hangar space for this plane to stay. So it's December 31st. It has been snowing the whole time we've been there. And we get to the plane about 2 hours before we plan to take off and go through de-icing. And basically you just spray. Same thing you put in your
car
fluid, your wiper fluid. And so we spray it down. And for those who haven't experienced a small plane experiences, it's really smart. Small planes don't just fall out of the sky or crash on any given day. You are way more likely to be injured or die in an accident in a car than you are in a plane.
Yes.
Believe it or not.
Right.
So it's very, very rare that anything goes wrong. And the reason for that is there is a ground check that all pilots and planes have to go through where they check every single system and gauge. It is a long thing. Our neighbors have been flying for over a decade, but still, every time we've gotten in the plane, they pull up the sheet and they go through everything.
Check. Yes.
Check. So it's all great. My pregnant wife, we're now 31 weeks. By then, 29 weeks pregnant. She's sitting there. She gets a little bit nervous flying. I do too. I just don't show it because that's, there you go. Man.
Because of the stereotypes and the masks and all the armor and all that stuff. Yeah,
that's correct. So we go through the check, and there happens to be not many planes are flying at this time of year because it's cold. The snow really hasn't fallen to go skiing yet, but there happens to be a plane behind us.
Yeah.
And they're taxiing behind us. We go through our check. We end up on the runway and we take off. As we're taking off, everything's looking fine. And if you've never been in a small plane, loud. Very loud. So you have these headsets on that mute out the noise, and you can talk to one another.
Right.
And if the pilot allows it, you can hear everything happening on that same frequency.
Yeah.
You can hear ground control. You can hear even other planes. Well, we're not 30 seconds into takeoff. We've just gone past the end of the runway, and our right engine kicks out. Which would have been fine. We have two engines. We would have just taxied around, come back, all have been fine. But it kicked back on. And then it kicked off. And then it kicked on. And then it kicked off. We are looking at the tops of trees as this small sardine can is turning 45 degrees.
Yeah.
And then our pilot is turning it around and bringing the nose forward, trying to keep acceleration, and it is turning, not to mention 30-mile-an-hour gusts are hitting us every couple moments.
Yes.
When you're in a plane, altitude is your friend. You want these things to happen at 7,000 feet because it gives you a long opportunity to find where you're going to land.
Time, yeah. They don't want to fall out of the sky. They want to stay up in the air.
Planes don't just rip apart in the air. The wings don't just fall off. If you lose power in the sky and you have altitude, you have options. You can land in someone's field. You can land on a freeway, which happens. You can land all sorts of places. We are 50 yards in the sky. And I'm looking at the high school football velodrome lights, and it's West Virginia. There is nowhere to land in West Virginia other than the airport. So we're about 30 seconds into this flight. The plane is getting beaten up. Our two pilots in the front did a phenomenal job, but you can still hear the stress in them. And then a voice kicks in over the radio.
Yeah.
And it's the pilot behind us. And the pilot behind us kicks in and goes, "You're doing a great job, pilot. Hold your blue line. Fly the plane. Hold your blue line. You're doing a great job." Hold the blue line means hold your acceleration. Keep your speed. And just said, fly the plane. Fly the plane. No more instructions than that. Like a guardian angel kicking in. I'm a CFI, a certified flight instructor. Hold the line, fly the plane. And it's not that our neighbors needed it.
Yeah.
But holy moly, we did.
Yeah.
We did. And so this pilot stayed behind us and flew behind us the whole time as we're making our way, trying to find our way back to the airport. And remember, we're getting the snot beaten out of us. We are just getting thrown left and right. The engine's kicking on. The engine's kicking off. The landing gear's not coming out. Like just this whole thing. We were prepared to go belly down on this runway. And again, we've got our headphones on. So we're hearing ground control from a small airport that doesn't see a lot of action, screaming, "We need the emergency vehicle out there right now. Prepare for a crash landing. Prepare for a crash landing." So I look at my wife it's so wild when these things happen. I've only had
Right.
a handful of near-death experiences. It's so wild when these things happen because we were in the air maybe 2 minutes. Felt like 10.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my wife. She has her hands on her belly. She is completely white, and she has just tears coming down her face. And I'm trying to communicate to her, babe, everything's going to be fine. We couldn't have a better two people in the front seat. Everything's going to be fine. She won't even look at me. She's just in complete shock.
Panic, shock. Yeah.
My fight flight is going into fight. I'm preparing for the second we get the ground. I'm going to push our neighbor's seat forward because the protocol is get Christine out first. I'm going to make sure Christine goes backwards because you never exit the front of a plane for obvious reasons. So my mind's going into that for about 90% of the time. But about 10% of it, the question keeps kicking into my mind, oh, is this it? Is our child an orphan? Is today our day?
Yeah.
Perfect landing. I'm so amazed. In fact, people are like, oh, you're never getting in one of those again. I'm like, you kidding me? My confidence in our neighbor has never been higher.
Yeah.
That in their 10 years of experience was the worst experience they've had flying a plane, and handled it like a pro. We hit the ground, radio comes in. It's the pilot that was behind us. Fantastic job, pilot. Great job landing that plane. Happy New Year. We're heading to South Carolina. And he takes off.
That's it. Do you know his name? Have you found out anything more?
So our neighbors looked them up, asked the airport to look them up in the records. They'd been there for a couple of days. So, you have to go through a lot. So, but they planned on sending him a very expensive bottle of wine to say thank you. And we go back. Our neighbor runs some tests and does his thing. Turns off the engine. He looks back at us. He goes, I don't suppose if this is a quick fix, you want to fly back. And I said, we're getting a rental.
We're getting a car.
But here's the worst part.
Yeah.
It's New Year's.
Yeah.
We dropped off the car right as they were closing. And so I guess we're spending another night in West Virginia. Well, the woman who was at the Hertz loves to watch the planes take off.
Oh my gosh.
She saw our plane take off.
She watched it. Oh my gosh.
When she realized we weren't going to die, because that's what she thought she was about to witness, she knew we were going to need a car. And so she stuck around. Her name was Katrina. And so she stuck around and we got a car and we drove back. 7 hours. I've never been happier driving 7 hours. And we got home like 9 p.m. midnight. We were supposed to be home by like 1 o'clock, right? Doesn't matter. Do not care. We got home safe. And it was so wild. Christine and I have had a different process. She's definitely had some PTSD from the experience. And she's processing it. I'm so proud of her. I compartmentalized it a lot to be like, well, we didn't die. So
that was our first conversation about it.
Yeah. Proceed. And so that was our first conversation. And to me, I'm like, okay, story ended. Nearly died. Didn't. We're good. Well, that was about, gosh, where are we? That was 2 weeks ago, let's just say.
Yeah. Something
Everything,
clicked.
yes. Everything downstream from that moment has been, the only way I can explain it, Boyson, is just flow. Just flow. I have done some of my best coaching and facilitation. I landed a client in Austin, flew out. I was delayed. I got in at 2 a.m. I was supposed to be up at 6 a.m. An 8-hour facilitation with a leadership team that if I sucked on the day, I'm never talking to these people ever again. Did probably some of my best work I have ever done. And so I just made, the meaning I made of that experience was just give me my worst night's sleep, my worst preparation and delayed flights. I'm going to do my best work. Like it's a foregone conclusion where previously I would have gone, oh, thank goodness God. I summoned it up then. I made it happen, but I better not let that happen again. I'm like, happens again, whatever. Whatever. I've got all this evidence that says it's going to be fine. I'm lucky to even be there. I may have never seen 2026.
Yeah.
And it's been this process of, I'm not going to allow these nonsense BS stories that once kept me safe, that once got my needs met, to be as loud anymore. Perfectionism can kiss my ass. This is the year that my speaking is going to go to another level. I've laid the groundwork in the past year. I've done easily over 300 coaching and facilitation sessions in the past year. And I know that my next step is the stage. And I'm going to, I could easily I need to buy the book, Talk Like TED. So I need to prepare my TED talk, and I need to make sure I have a coach, and I need to, you know what? Nah, I just need to go talk. Where are the opportunities to talk? Go talk and learn on the way. All right. It's kind of tactless to use the analogy, but build the plane while it's falling. Right?
That is a bit. So what does that feel like in your mind? I'm trying to get a feel for what is the distinction, what is the difference between who Brandon was and the stories Brandon would be telling and the things happening in Brandon's mind and flow. What's different?
I don't even want to begin to rationalize it. It just is. Because if I engineer how I got here, then I can reverse engineer and get out of it. Old stories, old patterns, old habits. I'll simplify it this way, though. This is the easiest way I've been able to even just comprehend it.
Yeah.
James Clear, Atomic Habits.
Yes.
Inside out as opposed to outside in. An outside in approach to achieving any goal, let's just call it a goal. Ooh, I want to run a marathon. So I'm going to pay for the ticket. I'm going to book my flights. I'm going to find a coach. I'm going to set up my training sessions. And so I know between now and 5 months, when I run that marathon, I'm going to run an accumulation of 160 hours and a little bit more than that probably, but and here's my training plan. Here's what I'm going to do. And when I run the race, I might then call myself a runner.
Right. Yeah. Yes. Right. Identity.
There was a girl I dated in Utah, and she was like Boston level distance runner, phenomenal athlete. All her friends were too. So I was going out and running behind these people, trying to, kill an old story that my feet are the only good for throwing evil rings in volcanoes because they are the flattest feet. I'm in a university textbook in Queensland, Australia. Pictures of my beautiful feet.
Because they're so flat?
Because they're so flat. Podiatrists are like, whoa, that's flat foot.
Okay.
So I told myself forever, I can't run. I'm a gymnast. And so here's a great chance. I'm surrounded by runners. The environment suggests hey, let's go for a run. But man, so I booked the Park City Marathon, 6,000, goes from 6,000 to 8,500 feet.
That's a real one.
It's a beast.
Yeah.
And so I start training and I start running, and dude, I hated it. I'm in the most beautiful place on earth to go run.
Been there.
Right?
Yep.
And the Wasatch Mountains, I hated it. And it was like a 13-mile run one day. And I wanted it to be over so bad. And I just remember saying to my buddy who I was running with, I was like, dude, I don't want to effing be here. I'm not a runner. He goes, well, what are you doing right now? I was like, I'm running. He goes, what have you been doing for the past 3 months? It's like, running. He goes, looks to me like you're a runner. And I was like, wow, no-ish. Wow. And did the last, I don't know, it was probably 7 miles or something. And I was just saying, I'm a runner. This is easy. I'm a runner. And it just clicked then. Every training run after that however difficult, however challenging, it was like, well, this is what I do.
Because
Lace the shoes, get outside, go run. So all that to say, that's the easiest way I can comprehend what's happened is just Brandon Clift, who has the great fortune of being here in 2026 with my wife and our kid to be, who gets to be the father that I was building myself to be for my daughter, right? I get all this opportunity, all this privilege. If I don't commit to these gifts and these things that I've trained and all of the people around me that have believed in me for the longest time to go and do the thing that I know I want to do, that's basically telling all the people that have believed in me my whole life, you're wrong, quit supporting me. You can be disappointed in me now. That's what I'm saying. If I'm not taking these green lights that are right in front of me that have always been there, but it took something like what happened in that plane to go, dude, proceed. F the story. F the story. It's just a stinking story. You've got more evidence to support the contrary. Why are you listening to some BS narrative that isn't even true? You don't even have the data for it. That's simple math to me. It's simple math. I don't think there's any justification needed beyond what's just been shared. So, yeah.
So outside of everybody going out and running toward their to a near-death experience to help them move to this,
I'm sharing this so you don't have to. But let me say this quickly, because I want to hear that. But let me say this quickly. I've been really geeking out on this concept of unlearnable lessons until you live them.
Sure.
I think there are some things that just have to happen before you can not just intellectually, but integrationally understand something. That's why you see these people have near-death experiences, or people like John O'Leary. I don't know if you've heard of him. I want to get him on the show.
No.
100% of his body was burnt after he lit his house on fire, and he was able to take that experience and turn it into a profound speaking career. Let's just say, probably would have never done it or achieved what he has if the thing didn't happen. And so, yeah, maybe it's one of those unlearnable experiences that some of you listening right now might just be like, I guess I'll walk into traffic and try it out and test the theory. It's like, no, don't do that.
Please don't. Yeah.
Do not do that. But on the opposite side, just recognize, how has everything been placed in your favor to proceed? Yeah.
It's an interesting, the fact that you said green lights that have been in front of you, an image ran through my head of that. There's the intersection. Here comes the intersection. I'm headed toward the intersection. The light's bright green. Everything's there. I'm going, and I stop the car anyway. I do that. Right? Get in my own way. Oh, I'm not going to make it through the intersection. I'm not going to or I might be thinking about, 5 miles down the road is the destination that I'm going to. And it's like some part of me really doesn't want to get there. Some part of me is really committed to staying here instead. Really committed to seeing a red light where there isn't a red light. Yeah.
Where it's familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So much of what I'm experiencing now, and I'm 2 weeks in, all right? 2 weeks in.
Right, yeah, right.
I'm not going to slow down in any way. I'm not going to say that there isn't going to be a valley in the near future, right?
Yeah.
Of course there's going to be. But why on earth would I stop right now? I'm going to keep this inertia, keep this momentum. And none of this is new in comprehension or intellectually being able to understand it. Like, it's like, yeah, take advantage of the opportunities you have in front of you. Everyone's been telling you to do it. Like, you just got to overcome the limiting beliefs. And like, yeah, we know that. We're in personal development. All right. It's a tale as old as time. We see it on our weekends all the time, every time. But it's this connection. And I want to really shout out Dene Maria Sebastiana, whom I consider the Yoda of MKP. And it's that connection when head, heart, gut, and sexual area line up. When those energetics line up, it's a choice if you don't proceed. It's an active choice if you don't proceed. And so that's where I'm at. And I'm just really excited for what comes downstream and what's continuing to come, because the affirmations have just been phenomenal. The reflections, the responses, in a way, because I mean, you've known me for 9 years now, Boyce, and you know that this is not much of a detraction from who I am and who you know me to be.
This is not a diversion from who I know you to be. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's just now an orientation towards action. It's like a flip. It was like 80-20, 80% learning, 20% action. Now it's like 80% action, learn along the way.
There you go. There's a book title, 80% action. Nice.
So yeah, I'm so thankful for you, man. Thankful for you. You've been such a wonderful supporter in my life, and been so affirming of these stages of my life where I feel this thrust. You know, it was coming to you after doing that video before and after my weekend.
That crazy thing, yes.
Yeah, God and damn. Then it was coming to you when I was living in Utah, being like, we need to start like a web show, Masks Off Monday. And then that became the podcast. And you've been one of those people in my life that says, proceed. And that's another thing. I think it's a very well-known concept, and it's true. It's just like, you've heard it, Jim Rohn, surround yourself with 5 people that, or you are some of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And that is so true, because I look at folks in my vicinity, and I'm very fortunate, great friends, great family, people that I share a lot of values with.
Yeah.
But I do not care. I do not care about some BS gossip. I do not like the amount of things that were previously signal that have become noise. Like, that's been the biggest thing. Like, it's just been a detox of BS. If it doesn't have something to do with what's most valuable to me and my family, like I can come to your frequency. I can't stay there. And I'm not saying your frequency is wrong. I'm just saying our frequencies don't match right now. And there's no up, down, right, wrong in any of that. It's 4-dimensional. It's just, there's not an alignment there. And so I'm not watching the news. I have the privilege that the stuff that happens on the news doesn't affect me as much. So I want to call that out. But yeah, I'm cleaning up the environment, cleaning up the kingdom, letting my sovereignty really shine. And yeah, man,
has this boiled down for you? So last year, one of our biggest episodes last year was our intention setting episode, was our word for the year.
Yeah.
Has this boiled down to you in a simple statement?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Sovereignty. Someone's got to lead this kingdom. Someone's got to, right? And I'm the man. And the affirmation has been, I'm built for this. I'm built for this.
Yeah.
Like, there's been no shortage of crap that's happened since the beginning of the year. And every time it has happened, it's amazing how it's just immediately like my brain, like neurochemically, maybe something, or neuroplastically, that's not the right way to say it, something has shifted, because the things that previously I'd get like miffed about, I'm like, I'm built for this. Whatever.
Nice.
Built for this. My daughter's not sleeping, wakes me up in the middle of the night. Yeah, I'm built for this. I'm going to do my best work tomorrow. Like,
I'm
it's
built
just
for this.
a foregone conclusion.
Rather than looking for an excuse to commit to the failure message or the resentment message or the expectation message or the whatever it is.
I had an opportunity to speak at my co-working space. I have an awesome co-working space. Everyone in this space is a builder. They're building something. Typically younger audience, like mid-30s, early 40s, just love this group of people. And they're like, hey, do you want to speak on Friday? And so on the plane back from Austin, I was like, yeah. And so I just wrote it then. And I mean, most of what I present or teach is redigestion of something else that's been created. Let's be real. That's what most speakers do.
Sure.
And I did a thing on paradigms, shifting our old paradigms to new paradigms. And within that, there are 3 decisions that need to be made if we want to change our paradigm. The first one is, where does your focus go? If your focus is on the news, if your focus is on a bunch of external things that you feel powerless to have any change or impact over, if your focus is on negative people, negative environments, negative situations, well, where your focus goes, your energy flows. Where your energy flows, your focus grows. That's Tony Robbins. And it's so true. If I'm on Fox News or CNN, 24/7 news cycle with an IV in my arm, just soaking up all of the madness in the world, like, yeah, of course I'm going to be miserable. Of course. And so the next that comes after the focus is a choice on the meaning that you make of the things that happen within that focus.
Yeah.
It's the meaning you make of it, right? We know this. We've had how many trauma therapists or experts come on the show? They say it's not the thing that happened to you, it's the meaning you make of it, right?
Yeah.
And so if I'm watching the news 24/7, the meaning I'm going to make of it is that the world is doomed. We are doomed. There will be no tomorrow. So what's the effing point? That's a choice. That is a choice. It keeps coming back to choice, which keeps coming back to ownership, which keeps coming back to responsibility to do something about it. These are 3 choices, not 3 outcomes. And so what's the meaning you make of the moments, the experiences, the things that are in your focus? And the final one is emotions and actions. And the order goes emotions, then actions, because you inevitably make a meaning out of the thing, which makes you feel something. And then those feelings usually result in an action or an inaction, a conclusion in many ways. Yeah. That's another choice downstream of the focus. And so if an old paradigm isn't serving anymore, that the world sucks, I can't trust men, women hate me, I'm not this, like, if that's the story, if that's the belief, then you've got to change your choices. Got to change your decisions. So if I think that women are the root cause of all the problems in the world and the reason why I'm unhappy is because they won't date me and give me the time of day, it's like, yeah, I'm going to focus on the messages of the red pill community and the Andrew Tates. Like, of course, because you're going to find affirming messages from other people in that same place.
Confirmation bias.
Confirmation bias.
Confirmation bias.
Bingo.
Yeah.
We are wired for confirmation bias. And so if you are attached to your old paradigm, you will always find evidence that that is true. That is black and white. That is the sky being blue and the grass being green. But if you shift the focus, shift the meaning you make of what you see within that focus, and then change your actions and the emotions that you investigate in that process, do it long enough, you will find confirmation of the right what stuff you see there.
Yeah.
So maybe it's serendipitous that had that plane experience, went to Austin, did this speech, because it's all just been confirmation bias of what's in front right now.
Yeah. Beautiful.
And what I want to recreate, that's the paradigm, the new paradigm. So
thank you. I opened up a piece while you were talking, because when I did my reflection at the beginning of this year, it was 3 things that came up for me. Have more grace. And that, I think there's in that flow state, that is creating the silence for that grace to enter in, for grace that for good who? Stuff. Me, you, them. More grace in how I treat myself. stick to my values instead of trying to stick to somebody else's.
Yes.
Knowing. And this goes along with it. So there's kind of fall in love with hard shit. Fall in love with doing the hard thing.
Yes.
And that's, I'm built for this, right? That is a reframe of, I'm built for this. Fall in love with doing the hard stuff, because it's always going to be there. The hard stuff's always going to be there. And somebody else said this to me in group, and I've just been repeating it. Ruminate on all the ways it could go great.
Yes. Where your focus goes, your energy flows.
Yes.
It's
like, I love ruminating on all the stuff, all the things that could go wrong, all the ways that I'm not doing it. Sovereignty is his word. And there he is with a green sheet holding it up. And so why not? Why not? Try it. Check it out. Ruminate on how it could go great. Ruminate on how you could succeed. Ruminate on how you could heal that part of you that you've been saying for the last 20 years is unhealable. Ruminate on all the ways that you could be the thing, the runner, or that you already are. Yeah.
And for all you skeptics out there listening right now, that's like, this sounds like a bunch of woo-woo bull hockey.
Well, it is.
There is. Yes, drink the Kool-Aid. Welcome to this new paradigm of thinking. No, it is brain science. The reticular activating system is the part of our brain that is trained to find patterns. When you buy a car, what do? You see that car everywhere on the road. So if you focus on how the world is horrible and how your chances are slim and that you'll never succeed, well, guess what? You will fulfill that prophecy.
And I love, you like to simplify and I like to overcomplicate. I like to complicate things. And that doesn't mean that there aren't things that are fucking hard out there. And that doesn't mean 100%. That there aren't systems in place that I might not be able to change today, but I can certainly make some step toward changing today.
Yes. And
right. Mm-hmm. Yes. So we don't deny, I'm not into denying other ways and other perspectives and other layers of reality that, we're all walking through. But what is the personal setup that's going to get you more of what you want so that you can impact the bigger systems? Because
someone on this planet has been in your circumstance or perhaps even worse, and they've found a way out.
Yes.
They've found a way out.
Yes. I
Viktor
love
Frankl.
that.
Viktor Frankl.
Right.
Case in point. Man's Search for Meaning. If you haven't read it and you feel like you're in a place of just like, oh, everything sucks, I don't have the chance, I'm not. Yeah, nice for you guys to say, you two heterosexual white guys.
Yes.
Read the book.
Yeah, and I was reading some Viktor Frankl this week, in fact, and one of the things that, and this flies in the face of a little bit of what we practice and what we teach, but there's a both and in here again, right? Your emotions as a man are important. If you've been suppressing and reducing your emotions, or not understanding them, or not able to name them, or not able to get them as information in your body, that's a problem. You need to be able to handle your emotions. And Viktor Frankl talked about the fact that in the camps, in the reality that he experienced, the emotions were less the point. The meaning was the point.
The meaning was the point.
If I find a meaning in being here, and a reason and a duty and a next responsibility, then my emotions and how I'm feeling about it don't really matter all that much right now. And I can still have them as a source of information for determining what the next action in my responsibility can be.
Nailed it, Boyson. I have a client that I need to boogie to. So I just want to say thank you all for listening to my story. And it is still unfolding. And yeah, I hope you can draw some inspiration or some guidance from it. I'm just going to truck ahead because all of this is objectively true and real for me. And that's what's happening. Boyson, thank you so much for being a fantastic co-pilot.
Yeah. Hey, hang out for the Mankind Podcast. Welcome to 2026. We'll see y'all next time.
See you next time. This has been another episode of the Mankind Podcast, produced in association with the Mankind Project USA. We have been your host, Boyson Hodgson, and myself, Brandon Clift, and we want to thank our guests for joining us today and imparting their wisdom from their experiences in this amazing journey called life. If you want to find out more about today's guests and support them in their mission, you can find links to them in the show notes. Now, if you have found gold and insights that you believe could benefit your loved ones and those you care about, be sure to share it with them. And of course, we are always grateful for a rating and review of the show on iTunes. Now, above all else, we've got to thank you, the listener, because through your attention and your support, you have made it possible for us to let men all over the world know that they are not alone and that there is more than one way to be a man. And if something in this episode has touched you, then perhaps it is the call to action to get involved in men's work. With live trainings happening constantly and in-person trainings happening all over the world, the Mankind Project definitely has something for you. Now, if you've enjoyed the music in this episode and all of our episodes, be sure to check out Jim Donovan and the Sun King Warriors. I have links to them in the show notes. And lastly, just know, what it means to me to be a man is completely different than what it means for you. That is the beauty of this journey. So if you are looking for guidance, support, and community as you begin to unpack and dive deeper into your men's work journey, then you know where to find us. Same place, same time, next week. Lots of love. We'll see you then.
Hey, it's Boyson. On the Mankind Podcast, we've brought some incredible guests on to talk about the importance of doing the work to improve our mental and emotional health. And here's the truth. Multiple times over the last 25 years, I've had the help of one-on-one work with some amazing therapists. For me, for my wife, for both of us as adoptive parents, and for our kids. The Mankind Project and Men's Group, though awesome, are not a substitute for professional mental health support. And so I'm thrilled that the Mankind Podcast now has BetterHelp as a sponsor for the show. BetterHelp works online. It asks you what you're working on and then matches you for live one-on-one sessions with a licensed therapist, someone trained to work with you, listen, and offer helpful insights. I'm using BetterHelp. It's super easy, and I like what I'm getting. If getting one-on-one support in the comfort of your own space feels like a good direction for you, I invite you to check it out. Go to the link in the show notes or betterhelp.com/mankind. And if you sign up, you'll get 10% off your first month of therapy.